I don't even know if I'm going to post this, but I wanted to record this to kind of share with a few of you all because I think it's super, super cool. So basically what I'm going to show you is a few things. I'm going to show you Claude Cowork. Now, Claude Cowork is a $20 license that you need to get. It runs out of credits kind of fast, but it has a lot of power. I'm going to show you how I gave it all my social media handles. It used a Chrome for Claude extension to go out there and find all the information on my page and create a working tree markdown file. Then based on that working tree markdown file, I actually use Claude Cowork and it runs a scheduled task every day at 5 a.m. that generates 10 content ideas. So first of all, this is Claude Cowork. If you don't have it, the pro plan is $20 a month. I personally think it's worth it. I do a lot of Claude Code things. So basically you don't have to use Visual Studio Code. A lot of these, you don't have to use the Markdown. You can use like a Word document file, or you could even store it in your Google Drive if you want. And maybe that would be a better use case for a lot of people's content automation flows to use Google Drive. But I like using Markdown because I am a nerd. So I'm going to show you what this looks like in Visual Studio Code. So basically what I did is I created a file, and at first it didn't have it like this. I just said YouTube, Instagram, whatever. When I preview that Markdown file, it looks like this. So I just gave it this, right? I went into Claude Cowork and said, hey, I want you to create me a working tree. I want you to use the extension inside of Claude, which is the capabilities that it has and connectors to use Claude and Chrome, right? So I configured that to work. I opened up Chrome. It went through all of my information. After like, I think about 5 minutes, it created this content working tree, and we're gonna kind of view that real quick. So basically it grabbed all of my content. I kind of like gave its own classifications. It kind of gave the views, right? Instagram, it has like a 90-day. Facebook, it has a 28-day. Maybe I could fill out these columns. It even created content pillars, which if you don't know what content pillars are, but they're like basically the pillars of like what type of content you post. And this is very organic to me. So I do Fortnite discoveries. I do post a lot of reaction and POV moments because it's easy. I do game updates and news, especially for Fortnite. I do post tips and tricks. My 1 out of 7 content I like to do is do like funny, cringy dad joke things, right? So your content pillars are kind of what your channel's about. So those, I would say those are pretty good on my content pillars. Then it kind of like mapped up my content flow. I gave it some more context, right? So ideas, right? Capture, how you capture, of course we capture with like OBS, how we edit these, you know, quick fast hooks for most of social media. Publish workflow, how I do it, I post from TikTok and YouTube Shorts from my browser, and then I download that video and I post on Instagram. And the reason I do that is because I auto post on Facebook and Threads. Technically you can post from the Meta Studio, but I currently don't do that. But it's a very good way to do it. Kind of gave some basic insights too. It says 7.4 million views recently in 30 days. Facebook has, you know, in the last 28 days has this. It's pretty close. It's like 3 million views in the last 90 days. My channel is really ramping down. We need to work on it. Kind of gave me in 3 times 60. I want to post 3. So with 60-second videos, you get to do a few things. I can hit TikTok's creativity fund for over 60-second videos. And also Facebook validates your channel very, very, very harshly on over 1 minute long videos. And if people are watching over 1 minute long videos, then your Facebook actually gets pushed out more. Yeah, I'm reposting there, but I thought it's also super huge, you know, to multi-purpose that stuff. So it kind of shows like how I repurpose everything. I currently don't do long form. I really need to. So where to double down here, it kind of like tells me like some of my bangers that I've had recently. And it found all this through Claude with Chrome. Like I didn't feed it any of this information. And then it found all the YouTube channels that are attached to my main YouTube channel and kind of just like gave me a little explanation of that, which I really don't need, right? But that's cool. So yeah, so this is my monetization, right? 2 monetizations since I'm not monetized on shorts anymore due to a break I took. That's when they ripped all that away. So yeah, it made this. This is really cool. I think so, and hopefully you think so as well. But what I also did is I used Claude Cowork to create a scheduled task. So every morning at 5 a.m. it grabs all those, grabs a content pillar, goes out there and searches the internet, and I asked it to create it, and you can see that it's using the scheduled task skill here, and then it creates this. So for example, just today, it fed me this at 5 a.m., right? It says, hey, the new update just dropped in Fortnite, which it did yesterday. Yep, we got a new soul leveling collab. Yeah, I got these skins early. Wait, they added 2, I didn't even read this, added 2 Star Rail skins. That's super cool. Which, is that true? Yeah, I guess Kafka and Blade. Yeah. The visitor returned, even though the visitor was in the map. I've really been seeing people make content on that. It gave 3 kind of ideas. XP maps will never do that in my life. And then it gave 10 ideas on how to make videos, right? And then it kind of tells like what content pillar comes, and it kind of like gives you a templated hook and a templated caption. And I thought this was super cool. It tells you like what social media that content pillar is really aimed at. I really don't think that's a thing. I don't know if I will use a lot of these ideas, but it's a very good way to generalize ideas, especially if you're stuck in like hooks or something like that. Super, super cool. I'm going to send this to you again. I don't know if I'm going to post this. I'm going to edit a little bit to have some captions. I'm going to keep it in the long form format, but I am genuinely impressed with this.